Hello, my name is V Sin, and this is a snapshot of Atelier Totori plus The Adventure of Arland. This game was originally released all the way back in September 27th of 2011 for the PlayStation 3. It has since been ported to PlayStation Vita on March 19th, 2013. Mind you, these are all for the English release dates. And just for clarification, just because of the release date of this video, this is not Atelier Meruru, which was localized on September 3rd, 2013. However, I've heard that many of the game systems are extremely similar to Atelier Meruru. There's also Atelier Rorona, which is scheduled for a remake in the future. Apparently, it has to completely overhaul those game mechanics. So what I'm going to go into here is what the gameplay actually is, because the impressions of this game are rather inconsistent. Most people have a really hard time figuring out what exactly to say, oh, this game is like an RPG, or this game is even a hunter, technically, if you remove the third-person element, but I don't know. We'll get into this and I'll show you what's going on. So, first of all, I'm just going to show you my save file here. I've put almost 14 hours into this game. I've made it to year 4, finally. So, I'm 90% sure that I know all the game systems, minus a few bosses and stuff. So, let's get into it here. First impression. Yeah, load times. There are load times on everything. Also, if you randomly get events, like those also take forever to load. I don't know why, whether it's the memory card or something, I don't know. This is downloaded to my memory card. I believe Atelier Totori is a download-only game, so it's running off the Vita memory card. And, well, most obvious thing, anime aesthetic. There, if you hate the anime aesthetic, get out right now. What this game primarily revolves around is honestly just two aspects: gathering and crafting. There is a combat element, but it's not really that fleshed out. So first of all, we're going to start with gathering. Well, let's just get to the world map first. So as you can see, you got this world map. You can move the cursor around with the left analog stick. And let's just head over to, I don't know, Ancient Monastery. So you click on this with confirm with X. I have a special item that lets you run around faster, so yay. So we can just head over there. And as you move throughout the world, you get all these random events. Some of them are you get free items, some of them you get free other stuff. This is an overly easy one, so let's just spam attacks. Oh, good. I managed to get that on the first run. Okay, you notice something there with the animation. The assist animation is she shows up, okay, does the dash, and then suddenly vanishes for like half a frame before showing up again. And in general, that is... On the other hand, you can see other stuff like... I honestly think that the combat animations are really nice. But if you notice, it's really awkward at times. Like, sometimes the animations are good. Other times it just suddenly... hey, I'm going to magically make the model disappear. I don't know. I don't think it's a restriction with the Vita, because they seem to have downsampled most of the textures in the world. Let's just go into this world area. Again, load times. Seriously, that's the story of Atelier Meruru. Atelier Totori. Load times everywhere. And if it's an extra long load time, you know it's an event. So you have these nodes on the ground here. I'm standing next to one. You get that pop-up over your head. You can press X, bend down, pick up stuff. And you have a whole bunch of items, select them, pick them up. Now, what you'll notice in the top left corner is that red bar just went down by quite a bit. And this is, and oddly enough, this is why I consider combat to be a secondary feature in the sense that it's not for the sake of combat. Let's get, because if you remember the fight earlier, what happened is I got a bunch of items from the fight. Like, depending on which monsters you fight, you will get different items. And however, picking up nodes on the ground eats half of the bar. So here, get all these items. And look in the top left corner again, you can see that it progressed by 1 day. Days are the restriction system in a way. It's sort of, you are fighting against the clock in order to get what you need to get done. In the first 3 years, it's actually pretty easy because you just have to get to an adventurer level. At this stage in the game, though, you have to gather a whole bunch of items. And yeah, there's a lot of items, and I don't know what the time restriction is. I'm assuming that you actually get a bad end if you can't gather enough items quickly enough. Oh yay, duplicate. Like I said, though, I really like the animations. I think the animations in combat are really nice. Like honestly, they're really nice. It's just, combat itself, I don't know. This is the second fight, but I think you can already tell how boring this combat is. It's very par of the course. I mean, I guess there's nothing especially wrong with it, but it's just, it's kind of there. Nothing special. Yeah, let's just blow past all these guys. I'll get to a minor boss fight. There's another boss fight that I actually prefer compared to this one. This is a minor boss, by the way. You can tell that the music changed, that's why you know it's a boss fight. Really, that's about it. There are definitely better bosses in the game than this, but damn it, this thing can't target. Oh, one of my other gripes with this game is, can you tell how many targets this is gonna hit? Yeah, the conveyance of targets in combat, and like even throughout the world, the conveyance is awful. Like, it's really hard to tell what the heck this item is doing. You see a blue square on the ground, but you can't really tell who it's over. I mean, if you look really closely, you can see that the targets it'll affect will glow off, but it's just really annoying. Oh, there we go, deal damage, assist attack. Alright, let's just get past this. Again, those guys just have regular AoE attacks. Of note, though, is that alchemists. There is Totori, who is in the party right now. You can also get Rorona at a later date. She's also an alchemist. She can use items. You can tell that regular characters, party members, have attack. You attack, skill, whatever the skills these are. Block and flee. Flee makes your entire party flee, by the way. Block just reduces damage for 1 turn. Only alchemists get item. Item is you have to carry items around and they can chuck them at stuff. Also, whenever Totori either throws an item or on rare occasions, if she just does a regular attack, as well as if she gets attacked. If you look in the bottom right corner, you get those bars underneath the characters. Not the white bar, it's the glowing orangey yellow bar. If I use a globe, see that I get that quick event at the bottom. I've been using it for a while now. You press LR circle, L for the left partner, R for the right partner, or circle if you just want to, in the case of or circle if you just want to cancel and not do any of the above. And then you can get the partner to do an assist attack. That's about it. As you can tell, Totori is awful at melee attacks, but whatever. She's primarily her damage primarily revolves around using items, throwing bombs, using healing items. She's the mage, but she needs to use consumables. Let's go through this real quick. Now you may have noticed that, for the most part though, it's a really boring combat system, but it is of value because you can hunt certain monsters to get certain items. In general though, the best items, as far as I can tell, come from gathering off the ground. You know, the thing that takes for 10 years just to pick an item up? Or rather, it consumes an insane amount of time just to pick items up. As you can see, the quality is 96 compared to, like, say, 10 single, like, under 30 quality. You can tell that picking up items gives the best quality. It just consumes a crap ton of time. Oh, let's get out of here. Oh, second gripe. Your move speed, just moving throughout the world, is really slow. Like, it's frustratingly slow at times. There's another zone around. Let's just head back first. But there's another zone. I'll take you there in a bit. Oh, great. Another random event. Long load time, long animation. There's no... you can sort of speed through them. But and again, even this ending animation takes forever. You have to get past this. I clicked it right there, by the way. You have to wait for it to load again. And just like Atelier Totori, I don't know about Atelier Merudu because Atelier Merudu. Yeah, I hate the pronunciations. Also, you sometimes get these random events as time passes. I've set it to English voice acting because I don't like the Japanese voice acting in this one.
Welcome, Cordelia. What are you doing here? I was waiting for a certain somebody to finish working. It's my day off, and we promised to go somewhere. Sorry, I'll be done soon. Don't rush. If you mess up and have to start all over, then I'll get ticked. Oh. What? You look surprised.
No, the image of you getting mad when someone isn't punctual just flashed through my head.
You're very direct, aren't you? Well, you're not wrong about that. I'm just used to it with her. There's no point in getting mad.
You used to yell at me constantly. You'd say stuff like, "How long are you going to keep me waiting?"
Less talk, more work.
Sorry. Let me go make you some tea.
No thanks. I'll make it myself if I want some. I'm sure you'll see a lot more of this, so don't worry about me at all.
Oh, is this sort of thing going to happen all the time?
Yes, without a doubt. I guarantee it.
I can't say it's not true.
So that's a fairly decent sample of what the voice acting is like in this game. You can get back, just dump everything in the container. Let's do a bit of crafting here. So you go up to these pots in... Oops, supplement. You go up to these pots in either Atelier Verona, which is in one of the cities, or Atelier Totori, which is in the starting city. But that you will visit pretty darn often as well, but still. You go into the place, you go up to these giant... Honestly, they look like pots to me. I don't even really call them cauldrons. They're supposed to be called cauldrons. And you get this menu. You have all these various items. The ones with X over them, those are the ones that you have no items for. As in, you don't have any of the requisite components. So this one is just you need fast. I only have one fast. You don't have any of the requisite items in order to complete it. These highlighted ones are ones where you do have all the items you need in order to create it. Supplement, you literally toss anything into it. Like, literally anything. I'll just make 5 to show you how this goes. So what you get is this screen. This is everything in your inventory or container. Because this is a supplement, I literally get my entire container showing up here. But here, let's choose something a little bit more selective. Oh, hey, rainbow oil. So there, I can craft this. I only have 1 crimson dye, whatever. Only 1 purple grape, and pure oil. You can see that it's really specific. This requires crimson dye, a purple grape, and a pure oil. Mix these together, the ingredients suck, but whatever. You get this animation, and you get an item. And then afterwards you get this screen. You basically can take all the attributes from the item that you just crafted, and then you can give it attributes that increases the letter rank. The quality is determined by the quality of the items used to make it. And then yeah, you get an item. Honestly, this you repeat a lot. And I really mean a lot. Like, really, everything in this game revolves around crafting. Everything. Like, how do you get weapons? You go here. There are these ingot type items. all the way down here. You have to craft this, bring it to a guy, pay him money, he'll forge it. But in reality, it's really just a gold sink after you created an ingot item in order to apply all the items that the bar of metal you gave to him has. Like, yeah, that's a bit of a convoluted explanation, but seriously, you're supposed to put all the stats on the item in advance. For example, this is going to be a piece of clothing, so I'm just going to create one for demonstration purposes. Let's make some good stuff. Binding rank boost. Let's do rank boost. Rank boost, for the most part, for weapons and armor, it just increases the armor or damage value. Order tail. You can only use order tail in this part of the recipe. Let's see what I have. Defense +3. And start to water. Ghost repel beefy. Lightweight. Sure, fire dampen. You put all those stats on the item. And then sturdy, increased defense. Lightweight increases speed, defense, and reduces fire damage. So you get a quality 60 item with those bonuses on it. And then, again, you saw that slight delay. I actually pressed it right as the screen showed up, but then you get the slight delay. You get a sort of achievement pop-up. That happens for a lot of different things. You need to get those in order to get past the first 3 years. After that, it just unlocks zones as you go. So let's go to the beefy weapon shop, and I'll show you how the crafting of equipment works. You craft your own accessories, but you have to go to this guy in order to craft weapons and armor. So here you go. Equip synthesis. Armor. Sure, let's do this. So this is the piece of 10 bish. I have no idea. That's the piece I just made. Ah, crap, I'm out of money. Let's do some dirt cheap then. Just for demonstration purposes. Adventurer's Wear, I've already made this before. And uses a cloth grade item. From the items that I put into it before, I have the sturdy and quality bonuses. It says up to chance. I've never seen it actually randomized before. I've never seen this randomized before. This is up to chance, but in reality you get that pop-up animation, and there you go, you got a piece of equipment. Press X to continue, and that's about it. Since we're here, we can just look at the item shop. When you buy, you have option to purchase 2 basket or 2 container. Basket is basically backpack. It's the stuff that you take with you as you run around the world. There's also where all of the stuff that you gather from the world goes into. At present, it's capped at 60. I don't know if there's an upgrade later on in the game. Basically, if you stuff too many items in there, you can't carry more items until you go back and dump it in the container. The container has an item cap of 999, I believe. So you have to be careful of that later on in the game. So I'll just buy it to the basket. And you'll notice that, yes, NPCs do carry items. But for example, you'll notice that these things down here, these are the rock bottom quality armors. Like, they're the bad ones. Like, some of these are good items. For example, this is a best metal ore, quality 100 fire cloak. You go down further up and you see, like, for example, this is price 30 and it's cracked, quality 30, so-so, good, so-so. Apparently this stuff improved. You also see this stuff down here listed WS. This is stuff that you get from this register option. So what you can do is you can go up to this guy, give them this item. Okay, let's give them this. What happens, you can then go back to the shop. You'll see that this item shows up. These items are generated by the shop over time. So you have to go out in the world or go to your alchemy or go to one of the atelier, and then expend time, and over time these will show up in the shop, and then you can buy them back. Now this is mostly a time saver, but you can tell this is 930 coal. That's bloody expensive for a single bomber ice. Like, seriously, these are expensive, and this even has the price down L. on it, so this thing would be way more expensive. Well, then again, it's an S rank, so that's probably why it's so expensive, but still. So you can basically create items, toss them back at the shop. They'll create more items, you can buy them back. It's mostly as a time-saving measure. It doesn't actually make the items any better. And if I'm not mistaken, the quality of an item sold by an NPC cannot exceed 100. So, here, let's head back to Atelier Verona. Yay, more loading screens. Seriously. Loading screens is the story of this game. Let's go, item, container, usable. You go down here, you can see this ultimate item. Quality 109. Let's do synthesis. Sort by quality. You can see that this is quality 120. If you were to give this to an NPC, they would only be able to make it up to quality 100. After that, they wouldn't be able to replicate it further. Also, you'll notice this guy in the corner. What this guy does is, let's just head over here. Chim board. This happens right near the end of the third year. You finally get access to chims. Chims expend pies in order to do work for you. Yes, pies, as in pieces of pie. They require pies in order to expend stuff. They will automatically duplicate a given item that they show you. So let's look at gathering. He's gathering black tree lumber right now, but let's say I want him to gather, I don't know, globe spheres. This window pops up, you get all these various items, and you just pick one that you want him to gather. But in reality, what he's really doing is duplicating it over time. And the reason why I say that is because, let's see. You see how on this screen here, current task gathering black tree lumber obtained 9. Keep the 9 in mind. Now we go to item, container, material, catch. I'm gonna go plant, I believe. Nope. What was it? Lumber. What you'll notice is that I have a ton of these black tree lumbers that have the exact same stat as them. Exactly 10. So the 9 that the honestly just dwarf. 9 of them were quote gathered. They weren't actually gathered. The system just duplicates them after a set period of days. And one of them is the original. And this is the other piece of black tree lumber that I gathered a while back. You can see it just duplicates items without incurring a direct cost. However, it does expend pies. But when you look at something like, say, the bomb ice, it's dirt cheap in comparison. You can get more chims via this machine here. But at this point in the game, I don't have enough materials. So, yay. And, oh yeah, one last bit to get into here is the Adventurers Guild. There's Adventure Girls here in the other town is Gerard's Bar. Oh yeah, another event. These are scattered throughout the game, by the way. So you run into them all the time.
I hope there are some easy requests.
I'm just gonna blow past this one. There. I'm just gonna blow past this one in an attempt to avoid spoilers. This is... Oh, another thing about these events is that they are affected by who is in your group at any given moment. Right now I have Mimi and... Who the hell do I have? Mimi and Sturk. So you saw that was a scene with Sturk. As you progress time with Sturk or Mimi in your party, depending on what part of the story, their, quote, personal story it is, you can eventually get specific scenes for that person. These occur... They seem to be at specific points at specific times, after you cross day X or something, or maybe if you walk X days with them, I don't know exactly. You will eventually get a scene in this particular location if you, say, walk up to them or talk to them or move to this or, say, move into a specific shop or room. Then you get a scene involving a party member that is physically in your party. If they're outside of your party, you cannot continue their, quote, personal story until you invite them back to the party and do stuff. But yeah, there's that. In terms of characterization, honestly, I found everyone to be pretty generic. Let's go over here. Because if you, again, look in the top left corner, you'll see that the 4/16, that is a date. These are the requests, jobs, whatever the hell you want to call them. So I believe it's this one done, Ghost. You can, let's go to here, accept request. You get a various set of different requests. Gather, synth, hunt. Those are the 3 different requests. And like I said before, that is the whole game. Gather, synth, and hunt. Like, there are some things that you can gather points for by, say, for example, killing a boss. But for the most part, it's just gather, synth, hunt. Gather, synth, hunt. Gather, synth, hunt. Then you guys maybe have specific items that you have to gather or synth or hunt, and then rinse, lather, repeat. Like, that is the whole game in a nutshell, really. I can't accept anymore because I've hit the cap of 5. You can go down here, report. I'm gonna report this. Go there, and you get a reward. The quality of these items. What happens is if you complete the job really, really quickly, or in the case of synth and gather quests, if you give really good items. Let's go down here. Oh well. But you'll see, oh well, I actually canceled the reward by accident, whatever. You see, for example, this thing. You see that bucket there, fish, rock salt, I believe that's mint, and then fertilizer. You can see they have varying qualities. Depending on how fast you complete the quest, as well as the quality of items that you give for the gather and synth quests, you get more of these items. For example, if you do a really crappy job, you get the item on the far right, and then as you do progressively better jobs, you can gain access to the items further left. As you saw in the redeem screen, you essentially get to pick one of any of those items, and you take it home with you, and you can do stuff with it. That's about it for that. There's also this desk. This is for improving your adventurer license. You have to report, and you can press that button. You can wait for this to go through, or you can just press X. You see, these are all the various different things that I've done in order to get different points. For the first 3 years, this is more important. I honestly don't know what more ranks past Diamond actually do, but I don't know. I haven't gotten far enough in the game. So you got all that. You got to toss in your license. The important thing about this, though, is that after you pass a certain rank from getting enough points, more places in the map will open up. And you will get a specific book, a recipe book, so you can make different items after doing so. That's really about it. There's also a conditional in the first 3 years where if you have to get past a certain rank or you insta-lose the game, so yay. It takes a lot of effort to not pass that, but whatever. And I don't know, that's it. Like, there are a lot of more specific things, like the story events and the specific bosses. There was a boss that I was thinking of showing off, but I don't know. I guess I'm not going to do it. It's already gone on to like 30 minutes by now, so I'm going to cut it off here. Overall, what the hell is this game actually? I don't know. It's a gathering game. Like, it's a gathering game with like a billion different ways in order to get items, but at the end of the day, the whole point is get items. Well, the nice thing about Atelier Totori, and I think the entire Atelier series by Gus, is that you can technically get something out of the game from like 2 minutes of gameplay. Like, you just craft an item, put it down. Craft an item, put it down. You can't, but there's also the capacity for you to just continuously play the game for hours on end. How good is it actually? Well, I've heard that the Atelier Merudu combat system is better than this, because this is pretty damn boring. I've run into an interesting boss later on, before on this save file, but I don't know. For the most part, combat is dull. It's basically a statistic war. People say it's mostly item-based, meaning that you have to have the best gear, and level doesn't really matter too much. I partially agree with that, although level does actually matter a bit. But for the most part, though, you do kind of have to go to the higher level zones with the higher level monsters in order to get the higher level equipment to defeat the higher level monsters. Yeah. Other than that, I find it's actually really grindy. Like, I got this during the Japan sale on the PSN within like August the 23rd, I think. Right now it's September the 6th as of posting. It took me this long just to clock that 14 going on 15 hours. Because I couldn't continuously play this. The general aesthetic is probably not for males. So that may have something to do with it. But even so, it's extremely repetitive, but you do get a lot of little rewards all over the place. So it's, in a way, at its basis form, I would consider this game a Skinner box. Like a really long Skinner box. This feels like the sort of game that someone would play for 100 hours straight. But other than that, this is not a game that I would play. I mean, I even only got this far just so I can make a video about it, and then I'm going to drop it right after. Overall, who would I recommend this game to? First and foremost, you have to like the anime aesthetic, because that is one of the driving reasons to keep playing this game. If you don't like the anime aesthetic, you will not enjoy this game. Plain and simple. Because mechanically speaking, it's not really that special. Admittedly, the item list is very extensive, but for the most part, in order to keep you playing, you have to like the story at least a little bit. Personally, I'm not a fan. Secondly, you'll have to understand that combat is not the main point. So if you're looking for a Final Fantasy game, for example, something like Final Fantasy, a lot of combat, some exploration, solid story, completely no. Story is subjective in all cases. I don't like it personally, but still. The story is subjective. Combat is average, extremely average. At most, you have the gimmick where Totori can make items for people, make the items, and that's technically spellcasting in this game, but honestly, that just contributes to outside of combat grind, so I don't know. Overall, I don't know, I find this game really hard to recommend. I know that there are a lot of fans of the Atelier series, I respect that. But for some random outsider with a Vita or even with a PlayStation 3 thinking, hey, there's this game called Atelier Totori, Atelier Merudu, would I buy it? I don't know. I'd say I would not recommend it unless it goes on sale. And that's the only reason why I bought it. Otherwise, it's really risky to try and buy this game because you won't know if you're actually going to like it. So, TLDR, I don't know. If you're willing to drop $35 on this, like you have that much expendable income and just want to try something, go ahead, do it. I will say that the first 3 years are very slow burning. The first 2 years in particular, you lack all the mechanics and the items, and you don't even get that many special events. So the first 2 years as in year blocks of this game are really slow burning. In the third year, it finally starts to pick up. In the fourth year, you finally have an actual tangible goal. Thank God. But other than that, TLDR, only if you have expendable income and are willing to take a risk. Because it's highly likely that you won't 100% love this game. There are, of course, people who love it, but you may not be one of them. My name has been V Sin. Thanks for watching.